Serbia, where rivers meet history. Between the mighty Danube and the ancient Balkan mountains, in the heart of southeastern Europe, lies a nation whose story reads like an epic carved into stone, Serbia. It's a crossroads of civilizations, a meeting place of empires, a land where East and West once collided and now intertwine. Here, every river bends around history, every mountain holds a legend, and every village has a tale to tell. Chapter 1: The Geography of the Crossroads. Serbia is small by size, about 88,000 square kilometers, yet its landscapes seem to hold entire continents within them. In the north stretches the Pannonian Plain, one of Europe's most fertile regions. Golden fields of wheat and sunflowers roll endlessly, dotted by Baroque towns like Subotica, whose pastel facades whisper of Austro-Hungarian elegance. Here lies Vojvodina, the country's breadbasket and cultural kaleidoscope, home to over 25 ethnic groups and 6 official languages, all coexisting in an intricate dance of identity. Further south, the land begins to ripple, soft hills rising into dense forests, and then suddenly, Serbia's spine emerges, the Dinaric Alps and Sar Mountains. These highlands cradle some of Europe's most dramatic canyons, the Đerdap Gorge, where the Danube River cuts through limestone cliffs in a display of raw geological power. The Romans once called this the Iron Gates, and even today, it feels like a portal between eras. At Serbia's highest point, Midzer Peak, 2,169 m, wind sweeps over fields of alpine herbs and wildflowers, while shepherds still guide their flocks as they did 1,000 years ago. In the far west, the Tara National Park shelters ancient forests of Serbian spruce, a species found nowhere else on Earth, surviving from the Ice Age, standing as green monuments to time itself. Chapter 2: The Birthplace of Empires and Saints. Long before modern borders, this land was the stage for empires. The Romans built roads and cities here. One of their greatest emperors, Constantine the Great, the first Christian emperor, was born in Niš, Serbia, in 272 AD. His conversion changed the course of European history, and his birthplace remains a sacred link between ancient Rome and Christian Europe. After Rome fell, the Byzantine Empire left its mark, glittering mosaics, Orthodox faith, and the Cyrillic script that still defines Serbian identity. Then came the medieval Serbian kingdom, rising under the Nemanjic dynasty. King Stefan Nemanja and his sons transformed Serbia into a realm of power and spirituality. Monasteries like Studenica, Zika, Milesiva, and Dikanai were not just places of worship, they were fortresses of culture, their frescoes glowing with blues and golds so vivid they still seem wet with divine light. By the 14th century, Serbia stood as a beacon of Orthodox Christianity, a bridge between Byzantium and the Slavic world. But then, history's shadow fell again. Underscore 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 underscore. Chapter 3: The Fall and the Flame. In 1389, on the fields of Kosovo, the armies of Serbia faced the Ottoman Empire. The battle ended in blood and tragedy, the fall of medieval Serbia, but it also birthed a legend that would shape the national soul for centuries. The story of Prince Lazar, who chose the heavenly kingdom over an earthly victory, became a moral compass for the nation. From that day, Serbia became not just a territory, but an idea, one defined by sacrifice, faith, and the stubborn refusal to surrender. For nearly 500 years, the Ottoman Crescent cast its shadow across the Balkans. Yet within that shadow, Serbian culture did not die. It sang. It whispered through Gusle songs, through folk epics recited by blind bards around fires. The people preserved their identity in melody and myth, stories of heroes like Marko Kraljevic and Miloš Obilic, whose names still echo in Serbian hearts today. In the 19th century, Serbia rose again. The Serbian uprisings of 1804 and 1815, led by Karađorđe Petrović and Miloš Obrenović, were not merely revolts, they were rebirths. Out of peasant rebellion came a modern nation, proud and self-governing, one that would soon influence the fate of all the Balkans. Underscore 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 underscore. Chapter 4, The Land That Sparked a World. Few nations can say a single act within their borders changed the entire world. Serbia can. In 1914, in Sarajevo, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, a young Bosnian Serb named Gavrilo Princip assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Within weeks, Europe ignited into World War I, a conflict that reshaped humanity itself. The war devastated Serbia. 1 in every 4 Serbs perished, soldiers and civilians alike, a loss so vast that it remains one of the highest casualty rates in modern history. Yet Serbia endured, emerging as part of the newly formed Kingdom of Yugoslavia. But peace was brief. The 20th century would test this land again and again, through Nazi occupation, through socialist rebuilding under Josip Broz Tito, and later, through the Yugoslav wars of the 1990s, when old wounds tore open once more. Even in those dark years, the resilience of the Serbian people shone through. Amid sanctions and bombings, artists painted, musicians played, and families celebrated life. The spirit of defiance in the face of adversity, became a national superpower. Underscore 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 underscore. Chapter 5, Culture, Soul, and Celebration. To understand Serbia, you must taste it, hear it, and dance with it. Food here is not a meal, it's an embrace. Grilled cevapi, smoky and tender, tucked in flatbread with onions. The sweet aroma of sarma, cabbage rolls filled with meat and rice, slow-cooked to perfection. And the ivar, the fiery red pepper spread, made each autumn when entire streets fill with the scent of roasting peppers. In every home, a glass of rakija, plum brandy, greets you before the first word is spoken. It's a symbol of hospitality and friendship, and of the belief that all problems, eventually, can be solved with a toast and laughter. Music is the pulse of Serbia's soul. The haunting wail of the trumpet echoes across mountain valleys during the Guka Trumpet Festival, where tens of thousands gather for nights of brass and joy. Meanwhile, the Exit Festival in Novi Sad, born from student protests for freedom, now ranks among the world's top music festivals, a shining symbol of Serbia's youthful optimism. Faith and tradition remain strong. Each family celebrates a slava, the feast day of its patron saint, a ritual that has survived centuries of war and change. It is not merely religious, it's cultural DNA. To be invited to a family's slava is to be welcomed into their lineage, their memory, and their heart. Underscore 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 underscore. Chapter 6, Nature's Hidden Kingdom. Beyond its cities and villages lies a Serbia untouched by time. The Uvac Canyon, with its emerald serpentine river, is home to the rare griffon vulture, one of Europe's largest birds, with wingspans stretching nearly 3 meters. The Devolja Varos, or Devil's Town, is a haunting collection of over 200 rock pillars formed by volcanic erosion, so strange that legends say they were once people turned to stone for defying divine order. In Terra National Park, mist rises each morning over forests so dense they silence even the wind. Wild boar, deer, lynx, and wolves roam freely, while deep in the caves, prehistoric drawings still cling to the rock walls. And every spring, the Tisa River performs a miracle. Millions of mayflies rise from the water for a single day, to mate, to dance, and to die. Locals call it the blooming of the Tisa, a natural ballet of light and life, breathtaking in its fragility. Underscore 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 underscore. Chapter 7, People of Fire and Faith. Serbs are a paradox, fierce yet warm, proud yet self-mocking, rooted yet restless. Their humor survives even when hope seems thin. They gave the world minds that changed it: Nikola Tesla, the visionary who harnessed lightning; Mihajlo Pupin, who advanced radio transmission; and Milorad Pulic, who turned literature into a labyrinth of dreams. And on the tennis court, Novak Djokovic stands as Serbia's modern symbol, a man who grew up amid bombings, practiced in empty swimming pools, and rose to become one of the greatest athletes of all time. His story mirrors his country's, wounded but unbroken. Underscore 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 underscore. Chapter 8, Between Yesterday and Tomorrow. Modern Serbia stands at a crossroads once again, between its proud past and its uncertain future. It is a candidate for European Union membership, balancing ties with both Russia and China, while nurturing its own vision of progress. The issue of Kosovo remains a painful question, but one that Serbia faces with a determination to preserve dignity while reaching for reconciliation. Today, Belgrade is a city reborn, alive with cafes, art, and laughter. The once grey streets now bloom with murals and music. Skadarlija, the Bohemian quarter, glows at night with the clink of glasses and the hum of old songs. Across the river, modern skyscrapers rise, symbols of a new era unfolding. Underscore 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 underscore. Epilogue: The Eternal Flame. Serbia is not a nation easily defined. It is ancient and young, proud and humble, scarred and shining. It is where tragedy meets triumph, where the earth itself seems to breathe history. From the Roman emperors of Niš to the monks of Studenica, from the trumpets of Guka to the quiet dawns over the Danube, Serbia endures. It does not merely exist, it insists. Because Serbia is not just a country on a map. It is a heartbeat, steady, stubborn, eternal. A flame that refuses to go out. This is Serbia, where the past still speaks, and the future still listens.